What's up, YouTubers? T.O. here, Simplistic Fishing, back at you tonight. We're doing lake breakdowns because that's what we do. Hopefully, I'll be getting some live video for you as well, kind of mixed into all these breakdowns. That's at least the goal. We'll see if the fish cooperate. If they do, I'll definitely have that out there for you. But hey, tonight we're going to go back to Lake Tyler. We covered Lake Tyler on the west side last time, so really Tyler West. And now we're going to switch over and we're going to look at Tyler East. So tonight, jumping in on the Google Earth side, Tyler East, stick around. I got some good stuff for you. Well, let's jump in here to Google Earth and let's talk about Lake Tyler now. As I mentioned before on the introduction, we have done Tyler West already, so we'll put a link up there at the top so you guys can click on that. Or you can always go out to our Lake Breakdown playlist on our YouTube channel, and you'll see Lake Tyler out there. Plus, you'll see a ton of other lakes. I don't know what I'm up to now, 60, 70 different lakes across Texas, and continue to add more and more each day. So let's talk about real quick on the Google Earth side. If you've never watched one of my videos, basically what I do is I break it down. So I break it down by a couple different categories, and it really just depends on the lake that I'm breaking down. Some of them have different folders just based on what it has. So in this one, pretty much in general, let's go ahead and just zoom in here to Tyler real quick so you can see where it's at. Obviously, Lake Tyler is right there by Tyler, Texas. We broke down this side last time, so we're really going to focus on Tyler East now. So as far as the breakdowns go, like I mentioned, we have it by a couple different folders. Let me just explain these to you real quick. We've got the Offshore Hot Spots. So these are all the offshore spots that we found using Navionics, and then we exported those points out and brought them in here into Google Earth so we could view them. We've also got channels and ditches. I think this is probably the coolest thing that we offer, especially when we get on these lakes that have really good creek channels. This one's got a pretty good creek channel back here as well. But being able to know exactly where that creek channel is and be able to fish on it and set up on it correctly is really, really key. And having those tracks is really going to help you a ton. So make sure to go check that out as well. And then we've also got ramps. So all the different boat ramps that are over there, things like that. We can find any of those boat ramps that are on this lake. There were a lot more on Tyler West, but on Tyler East, really it looks like most of your boat ramps. You got one down here, and then you got a couple that are not a couple, but a handful that's up here in this area. And then you've also got some rocks. There wasn't a lot of rock on these lakes, but there is some rock. So went ahead and marked those. And then just additional cover, whether that be lay down, standing timber, doesn't really matter, what it is, but any type of cover that was out there that didn't match those other categories, we basically threw it under the cover folder. So now that I've explained all that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this back, and we're going to go up to the north side of the lake, up here, and we're going to change our date. So we're going to go up and change the historical image, and we're going to draw it back, and hopefully our internet works today, and we can actually use this thing. So we're going to keep drawing back, and you're going to notice real quickly if I get it back to a certain date. I think we're in 2015 is where we're going to end up landing. But we're going to keep drawing it back until we can start to see stuff. But this one's just not going back. There we go. It looks like that's probably going to be the one that we want. Notice how much different that was. 2015 to here, you don't even know where the creek channel is. Here, you can really see it. And so that's where we make those tracks for you guys so you can really hone in on where that creek channel is. So on all of these lake breakdowns, I always start down by the dam. I don't want to mess you guys up and change this one. So let's go down here to the dam, or the spillway, I guess you could say, dam, spillway, whatever it is here. Let's start here. We're going to work our way up the east side and then back down the west side. So as far as this area, really what I'm seeing in here is just some rock along the dam or the spillway there. You've also got an extra boat ramp that's back here. So you could always fish around those boat ramps. That looks more like probably like a local boat ramp or something like that. So maybe not have as much activity. That could be a really good boat ramp to fish around. If you've ever heard me talk about the boat ramp pattern, I'm telling you guys, it's there. Sometimes it is the best pattern to run, and it's super easy to run, especially when you know where all the boat ramps are. All right, so also out here off this point, just something you need to check out. I couldn't tell what was going on, but if you look here, you can see these little circles. So I don't know if that's like old stumps or what that is, but definitely check out that area. Being that it's off of a point as well is a really big deal. That makes it really easy for you to be able to locate fish when you're fishing out on the points. So moving down here, didn't see too much. Not a lot going off at this point. Obviously, I would fish it just because it's a point, but didn't see anything too crazy to mark for you guys. Not a lot of laydowns on this lake or anything like that. At least in this area, there are some more laydowns on the other side. As we work our way into this cove, didn't really see much back here. There's a little bit of a ditch back here, I guess, but it really wasn't that well defined. So I didn't mark anything for you there. Looks like you might have. I don't know if this, I think it's just debris. I didn't mark it because I wasn't sure, but I was thinking maybe you might have some rock there, but nothing there, no brush piles, stuff like that, that I was looking for that I couldn't find any of that stuff. But this point up here looks kind of interesting. It's got, I don't know, just pretty plain, but it's got these little circle things. I don't know what those things are, but could possibly check that out, see what you could find. And we're going to keep going. I'm not going to bore you going down those bank lines. There really wasn't anything there until we got up right here around this point. And then we get around these points. That's when we started seeing some interesting stuff. Now, right here, notice the color changes on that point. And you could have some possible shell or something like that just right there off the tip of that edge. So you definitely want to check that. Finally got into finding some laydowns out here. There was a laydown there. There's a couple boat ramps back here that you could fish. Maybe I thought that was rock, but this stuff, I don't know what this stuff is. I don't know if that's rock or not. If it's rock, that is a really good spot to fish because it's right there on that turn, but I don't think it is. Two boat ramps there as well. Out here off of this point, you got some more stumps as well. If I zoom in really close, you'll see them. I got a couple stumps right there and a couple stumps right in here. And you guys know those are great places to find fish. They love to hide up against those stumps, getting the roots and stuff like that. Those are really good places to find fish. As we move up here, just saw a couple things here, some debris right off the edge of this point. You can see it here too. There's a couple more pieces up here, but just some stuff for them to relate to. And the fact that it's a main lake point, that's a really good, really good thing. So you got some debris and a main lake point. That's a good recipe. You've got a boat ramp back here as well. Some debris outside the boat ramp. So if you were fishing the boat ramp and you pull back a little bit, see what this is. I don't know what this is, but that could be something that you could relate to. They could also relate to this over here as well. Now I looked at this point. I didn't see anything. It looks just like this dirt, but maybe scan over that point and just see right off the end of it. It looks like it could have a little white on it. If it does, that's going to be shells or something like that. That's going to be a good spot to look at. All right, so let's keep moving up. Didn't see anything back in here until we got a little bit further back. Here's your really good creek channel. So you definitely want to come back here and fish. That's got a pretty well-defined creek channel that you can go fish. You got a lot of lily pads and stuff back there, just all kinds of good stuff. That looks really good. Now in here, I don't know what kind of beds these are, but there's these beds that are right up here on the top of this. You can see them. There's one right there. There's another section of them right in here. I don't know what kind of bed that is. Seriously doubt that's not going to be bass beds because look how close they are to each other. But it's some kind of bed, and anytime you see those beds, there's other fish around that are going to be attracted to that. So definitely check those out. Plus, you've got this little old road bed that comes through here, and then here you have the culvert as well. So fishing around that culvert is going to be a really good spot to check out. All right, so I'm going to back out of here. We're going to go back around the point. Next things that I saw up here, just a couple laydowns. There was a really good laydown right there off the edge of that point. You can see them relating to that. You've also got some laydowns out here off the edge of this island that you could look at. A couple different ones right here on this side. Check that out. I love fishing laydowns, especially in lakes in East Texas. Laydowns and creek channels, man. That's just where it's at. So if you look back in here, this thing didn't have a very good well-defined creek channel, just a really good, cove, big flat back here. I could see this being really great come springtime. But back here, you've got a little bit of a ditch. So if you could get back in here and angle yourself right, you might be able to fish around that ditch and find some fish back there. Let me pull the water up. I'll show you what it looks like when the water's up. So I don't know if you can get back in there because it's so thick, but there is a little ditch there if you wanted to try to hone in on just that spot. I would fish around this dock too. You got a real nice deep depression here. So you probably got some pretty good weed lines right in here. I mean, this lake looks really juicy. It's disappointing it's got so much traffic on it because it looks like it could have some really good potential. All right, so we're going to keep moving up. Didn't see too much in here. Looks like I missed a ramp there. So there is a boat ramp right there. Maybe one there. That one looks like a dirt one, but that is an actual concrete ramp. So you could check out that if you were on the boat ramps. Then moving on up, as far as other ditches and things, pretty good little ditch right in here. When the water's up, it looked like you could still, hone in on that area. Notice how it opens up in some of those spots. So you could look right in there. You've also got a lay down that's up here as well, pretty far out into the water. If I draw it back, you'll see it. I don't know if it's a lay down or a brush pile, but there's definitely something there. I'm going to zoom back out and kind of show you guys where I'm at. I'm almost all the way up the right side here. Wasn't as much on this side as there was on the west side. Moving around the point, next thing I saw was just right in here. I definitely want you to check this. I'm not sure what it is. It looks like it could be like those rocks. It could be little bitty stumps. I don't really know what it is, but it's different. So I definitely want you guys to check it out and just see what it is. It kind of goes on up through here. So it looks like, if that is rock or something like that, that could be a pretty decent little bank line to fish right through that area. But check it out, just see what it is. I'm not sure, and it's really hard to tell from Google Earth. So let's go up here and let's go in the Everett branch. This is where we got a really good creek channel as well. So if you can get up in here, it looks pretty muddy and stuff, but if you can get up in here, you've got a really good creek channel to fish around. You can get a little bit further back in here, and then now you're in, some really tight creeks and things like that. But it just looks really, really good. And if I show you this, obviously, if you're fishing these tracks, you're going to want to fish on these bends. So fish here, fish up there on both of those, down here, up there. Just really focus on the turns. But let's go ahead and just move this up and show you guys what it looks like now. So if you went back there now it looks totally different. But that creek channel bend's right there. You got a real good bend there. You got a nice one right here. Really like anything around that little point. That whole area in there just looks like it could be a lot of fun. Definitely worth going back and checking out. Just be careful because I don't know how many stumps are on this lake. I don't see a ton of stumps, but just be careful because that would be a pretty shallow area. Then moving over here, we've got another little ditch that comes out you could check out. Again, moving the water up, you can't really tell that ditch is there, but it is there. So you can kind of focus around that. It's just a little bit deeper area than everything else around it. You've also got some debris over here by this dock. They put it right behind there, but you can see it. There's a little pile back there. Not sure why they put it behind the dock, but hey, it's back there, and we found it. So then moving on down, we've got a boat ramp down here as well. And again, didn't see too much really on this side of the lake till we get in here. Did see a couple things in here that I really liked. A ramp there with some debris on the edge of it. Some more debris out here, like some pipes and things with some laydowns, stuff like that. So that would be worth checking out. I always like those ramps too, where those come off those boat docks. Those I don't know if that's what that is or if that's just two pipes, but either way, those fish love to relate to that kind of stuff. So definitely go check that out and see what you can find. Obviously, main lake point here, you want to take a look at the main lake points. Got a couple ramps back in there, but that was about it to show you on that side. And then when we move up here, just some debris and stuff. Again, not a lot all going on that we can really pick out, but I did find this. I don't know if that's a brush pile or what it is, but I would definitely go look at it. There's not a lot of cover in the area, so they're going to relate to this stuff pretty good. Got another one back in here. Looks like potential brush pile or something like that. And then you got a ramp that's way back in there you could get back into. Again, another big ramp right here. Looks like probably a community boat ramp or something like that. That one looks good. It's got two different boat ramps on it. I would definitely fish that one. I'd hit up those points too. And then we're going to move on down. Didn't see too much on these bank lines, looking for laydowns and stuff like that. Didn't see too much. Do have a nice little pinch area right in here, right where this dock is. It looks like they've dug it out or something. So you got a really good little pinch area going on both sides of this. I would look right in this area. Look at both those openings. Look in here, and maybe even look over there on that spot as well. Then when you get up here, just a couple more things to show you before we wrap up this. Like we've got another pipe that's in there you can look at, a laydown that's over there. You got some timber, like a brush pile or something going on in here, maybe a lay down as well. It's kind of hard to tell with the imagery. And then we move out. We've got a couple more creek channels or ditches, whatever you want to call them, but we got one that's up here. So again, just honing it in, just fishing just that ditch line. I've had some really good success doing that stuff. Also right in here, finding that ditch line or that creek line and really following it. That one's actually got a lay down right in the middle of it. So that lay down is going to be really good, especially if you got some overflow water coming into the lake. And then if we get down in here by Dogboat Island, there's some timber right off the tips of these things. So you got some lay down right here, got some timber or lay down right in here. You got another lay down up in here. And again, this looks a lot different when the water's up. I pull the water up, you wouldn't even know those things were there. So let's pull it back. Let's keep talking. We got some more laydowns or timber. I'm not sure what it is. We got two of them right in there you could take a look at, kind of hone in that area. And then another laydown that's right out here off the edge of this point. Now, obviously, I'd fish these points. I'd fish both these points. They just set up really well. And you could have some current coming in here from the other lake. So these points set up really well from that current. So fishing all three of those is definitely going to be worth it. Whether I put a mark there or not, you definitely want to go check a look at that. And then the last thing would be really, again, just checking on the edge of this point. It looks like there could be a brush pile or something like that right off the tip of it. So, guys, I hope that helps you out. Hopefully, you get a chance to go out and fish Lake Tyler. That looks like a really cool lake. Maybe a lake I need to go to in the, in the summertime and kind of enjoy it with the sea-doos and all of that, and then do my night fishing. Maybe that's what I need to do. I'm not sure, but hope this helps you guys out a ton. Please go out and check out our website, simplisticfishing.com. You can get all of these waypoints plus all of the offshore waypoints, everything pretty much put all into one card for you. You just plug it into your graph and away you go. It will change the way you fish. Until next time, guys, hope you catch your PB. Take it easy.